some familiar faces around this LSU program, and of course with LSU every season you've got these draft picks and guys moving on and got to fill the holes. But yeah, still 3 weeks in, Jay Johnson said still learning a little bit about his team.
That pitch is right down the middle for strike 3 call. Kling must have been sitting on something else. Took that fastball at 93 down the gut.
Yeah, Sam Hall does establish that strike zone early, and maybe the book on him was once he gets to 2 strikes, you got to look for something soft. But Hall reverses course, pitches backwards, and gets Kling looking.
Josh Pearson getting the start. He's had a couple of home runs this season in 27 at bats. Played in 55 games a year ago with the national champions. Won't soon forget his 2-run homer against Florida in Game 3 of the College World Series Finals. He's down in the count, 0-2. Tell you what, it must feel like the Tigers have been in Houston for about a week and a half. Remember, they came in and played Rice on Wednesday night.
Yeah, Jay Johnson said they got here Tuesday and had an elongated stay here in Houston. Great base for LSU, though. A lot of fans here locally, and LSU recruits the Houston area really well.
Huge crowd at Rice on Wednesday. Pearson pokes one out into left center field. That's dropping for a base hit. 1-out single. Sets the table for their RBI guy, Tommy White.
Yeah, White getting moved to the 3-hole, batted in the second hole yesterday. It's an opportunity for Jay Johnson to put Tommy White at 3rd slot, maybe give him a chance for some more RBI opportunities.
That's all he's done in his career. Drive-in runs. That is a mile-high fly ball to right field. Galloway looking up into the roof will make the catch, and I think Texas State happy to see Tommy White set down on 1 pitch, a guy who last year drove in 105 runs.
Yeah, one of the more talented college baseball players you'll see. Of course, with the nickname Tommy Tanks with the balls he hits out of the ballpark, but this one stays in. Sam Hall only needed 1 pitch to retire him, and that might be the book on Hall. Try to get to his fastball early.
Brady Neal hits one right into the shift to the second baseman Mora. Back on the outfield grass. Neal's retired. The Tigers strand a runner. 1 scoreless inning in the books between the Cats and the Tigers. So is that purple hair with a gold accent, or is it gold hair with a purple accessorized left-sided look?
I'm seeing a little more purple there.
Okay, I think so too.
Maybe the angle we have, but yeah, they are donning the outfits today
I'd say so.
On the LSU side. Not as big a crowd we had the first 2 days. Still pretty healthy here on this Sunday afternoon.
And Thatcher Hurd back out to the mound in the second. Galloway, Lugo, and Powell 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Bobcats. Little cue shot dribbled towards Milam at second. He's going to surround that baseball and retire Galloway to begin the inning. You know, it's interesting with Texas State that Coach Stroud told us that the one thing he wanted to see his team do this weekend is just get off to a better start. They were playing from behind a lot, and I would say yesterday when they got out to that 6-0 lead, it was just what they wanted. Now they would lose that lead. Well, Jay Johnson's coming out to say something to plate umpire Eric Gaucher. Any idea what that might be about?
No, it was a pretty quick conversation, but what happened there? Well, you're right. It's going back to what Kendall Rogers said about this Bobcat team right now. They really struggle with starting pitching. That's been their Achilles heel. Of course, the offense has been high powered. Pretty decent bullpen work, but you need better starts.
Well, this is yesterday's hero, Aaron Lugo. The 9th inning laser beam home run to the Crawford boxes. Put Texas State in front 11-10. They would win by that score. His 4th home run. Probably the biggest baseball moment of his young life. And it was all over social media. Saw him being interviewed by 11.7, and he's still blowing bubbles.
Well, if that's the MO, I would say keep doing it.
That's
it's
his
working.
thing.
Yeah.
Pitch from third is a strike. Slider on that outside corner.
In that situation with Texas State down by a run against Texas, and it just tells you the level of relaxation that Lugo had walking up. I mean, blowing
I think
a
that's
bubble,
exactly right.
Just super relaxed. And
got a breaking ball that he spanks to center, but back is Kling. He'll make the catch, and Lugo's retired. 2 gone. The Texas State second. You're not too tense, I guess, if you're up there blowing bubbles to that degree.
yeah, super loose, and that swing was loose.
Davis Powell, the shortstop, next man in. Lufkin, Texas native. 2 hits and 9 at bats this weekend. We'll hear from Coach Trout. Jay Johnson a little bit later on. Down from the dugout. Game 8 of our Astros Foundation College Classic. Another fly ball right center. Kling back. Going to call off Brown and make the catch. So the Bobcats go in order in the second. Quick inning from Thatcher Hurd. Still 0-0. Bottom of the second from Minute Maid. Tigers and Bobcats as we advance into the bottom of the second inning. Hayden Travinski is going to lead off. We featured him in the open. He's homer this weekend. Some Cougar fans waiting for the nightcap. They're here early. Travinski has already graduated, Shreveport area native. 10 homers last year. First pitch swinging, pops one up behind the plate. Collier looking for room, but it's across the screen into the lower seats. He's pretty excited to get that baseball. No, he didn't catch it cleanly, but he picked it up. But he's still happy.
Didn't spill the drink. That was the key there.
It's going to be interesting for LSU what they do with this catching situation, because they have an abundance of riches when it comes to catchers. Jay said the best trio of catchers in the country, called it a luxury. I would say Arkansas is trying to figure out how to juggle 4.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a lot when you're only playing 4 or 5 times a week.
That is. You got the veteran Milazzo. You've got obviously Travinski off to a great start offensively. Sophomore Brady Neal.
2 homers the other day in that game at Rice.
Yeah. It's a great problem to have. Neal gives LSU that left-handed hitting option as well.
Three infielders on the left side of the diamond. Doesn't matter as Travinski takes strike 3 from Sam Hall, gets a second strikeout.
Hall set Travinski up nice and kind of worked the outside part of the plate, tried to pop his eye level up a little bit on that 4th pitch, and then comes back and just paints the inside corner. Eric Gaucher with the ring up.
Stephen Milam, the second baseman, next man in. He's off to a .364 start with the batting average. He dropped a comp on me, did Jay Johnson, as far as comparing him to a guy that played at Arkansas a few years ago named Robert Moore. Similar in stature, kind of a dynamo, electrifying type player.
Yeah, built pretty similarly of Moore, and same style of play, but I think what separated Moore from a lot of second basemen, just a leadership piece of what he brought to the team as well.
Boy, that one smoked to center, and Farber tracked it down. So Milam torched that ball off his bat, but doesn't get anything to show for it.
A nice break on the ball by Ryan Farber, and that's a converted infielder. Did not play much outfield in his career up until this year. Just made the move in the fall. Had a lot of game reps out in center, but made that one look easy.
Two gone for Jared Jones. How would you like to have this guy batting 7th in your lineup?
You're right. He'd be a there's the shift on Jones.
Count the umpire. There's 4 people on the left side
right.
of the diamond.
Almost mistook that for the Rover. I'm like, wow, where'd that guy come from?
So there's Jones's numbers this year. Last year, 14 homers, 45 RBIs. He's batting 7th.
Yeah, be a cleanup hitter in most college lineups.
I think so. And the pitch from Hall misses a little bit in to send the count to 3-0.
Yeah, the hitting from Jones never been an issue. I mean, he's always hit. Question was in first base, replacing Trey Morgan, how would he respond in terms of improving his defensive skills? And Jay Johnson said he's made some big strides at first base for us.
Just like to see that progression for these guys. Just keep getting better overall. Helps the team, also helps your draft stock, so to speak. Jake Brown, Sulphur, Louisiana freshman, in there from the left side, and takes strike 1.
For the most part, Sam Hall has been down in the zone, and that's what he has to do to attack this LSU lineup. He's got to mix his pitches well, establish the off speed, which he's done, but Keeping those fastballs down in the zone is going to be key to keeping these Tigers inside the ballpark today. And you see the Bobcat catcher Ian Collier make a nice stop, but does a good job of setting up low as well.
He's got that big watch on the PitchCom device. Again, that looks like an iPad on his wrist. Ground ball punched to the left side. Powell can't come up with it. Everybody's safe.
Yeah, should go down as an E6, even though about 5-6 steps to Powell's right. Tried to backhand that ball and looked like just whiffed on it, hit his shoe, and his foot stopped it from going into the outfield. I think he would have had the force out at second base with Jones running had he been able to come up with it.
Yeah, foot save. I believe they gave him a base hit.
Wow.
I think that's the case. So it brings up Michael Braswell III, the shortstop. Spent a couple of years at South Carolina, Georgia native. All-SEC freshman team 2 seasons ago. Former perfect game All-American. Pitches outside low from Sam Hall.
Another one of those tall shortstops.
Ground ball to the left side. Again, 3 infielders there. Powell perfectly placed. He'll retire his counterpart Braswell, and the Tigers strand a pair in the second. No runs on the board as we go to the third. We go to the third inning at Minute Maid. Zeros up on the scoreboard. Jay Johnson, the LSU head coach, joining us. Jay, you've been in Houston for a while. Is there anything you've learned this week about your team that either reaffirms what you already knew or maybe something that you're kind of discovering with a few more games?
Yeah, I think what we want to do is win every game that we play and then figure out what our best baseball is and our best team as we're going along. And we're certainly doing that. I think this time of the year, you know you're always going to be under construction. Liked how we've obviously pitched at the front end of games. I liked how we played defense. Offense has been some good, some need to get better at.
Jay, this is Pat Combs. Great to have you along. And Thatcher Hurd kind of started off with a couple of okay starts, but looks like he's locked in today. What is he doing different today?
Well, you know, I mean, he won the national championship game last year. I think he gave up a total of 3 runs to the #1 and #2 teams in the country in the College World Series over 12 innings last year. So it's literally about strikes. It's about execution. And he puts a lot of time into his craft. I trust him a lot.
Jay, before we let you go, have you heard from Alex Bregman this week? Did he wish you well coming here to his home ballpark?
I have not, but that's okay because he's to the delight of Astros fans locked in on his job, which is exactly what he should be doing.
Yeah, there you go, Jay. One more question for you. So, you know, a lot of turnover in the lineup this year, but the expectations don't change at LSU. How do you manage those expectations with these players every year?
Yeah, just make sure they know the ones that are important, and that's we want to be undefeated in how we prepare to play, and we want to be undefeated in our commitment to executing our job. Baseball's hard, so you're not going to be perfect all the time, and then having the mental toughness to withstand that. So we don't really get caught up in the outside thing, or certainly try not to.
Hey, Jay, appreciate the time.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Indeed. Feel like we could go on for quite some time, but he's got a job to do. We got to let him go.
He does. Yep. Always generous with his time is Jay Johnson, and a great spokesperson for LSU.
Ian Collier sends one towards the Crawford boxes. Just missed a home run. Now Pearson has a chance for an outfield assist. The throw to second base, just a little bit offline. And Collier has to hustle in with the double, just missing a home run.
Yeah, that was a missile off the bat of Collier, and you're exactly right, Brett. That ball hit top, just below the line in that Crawford box, top of the wall there.
And Pat, you'll notice if it hits the scoreboard, it might give you a strange bounce. That hit near the top where you can get that one true carom, and then there's a great opportunity to throw at a guy trying to get to second base.
Yeah.
That throw is just a little bit offline.
Nicely played off the wall by Pearson, but the throw was offline. Ian Collier, pretty athletic catcher, got around first base well, and head first dive into second base, lead off base runner and in scoring position for the Bobcats.
And back to the top of the lineup for Ryan Farber. Struck out his only time in. You think about Jay Johnson, though, Pat, and just to kind of follow up on our conversation. Listen, there's a lot of tradition and history at LSU. No one's going to feel sorry for them if they lose a game, and probably, quite frankly, a lot of people not Tiger fans are rooting against them because they've had so much success. There's always challenges every year. You lose a Skeens, you lose a Cruz, and that doesn't even factor in a Beloso and a Dugas, and you could go down the line, talented college baseball players. This year they have their third pitching coach in 3 years, and the 2 previous pitching coaches are now head coaches. Saw Jason Kelly a week ago. He's at Washington. Wes Johnson, of course, the head man at Georgia. So that's a lot of change for these pitchers.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's Nate Yeskie coming in. And Nate, of course, great reputation in college baseball. One of the better pitching coaches you'll see as he makes his way out right on cue to talk to his starter, Thatcher Hurd.
Yeah. We set that up so he could come out and
perfectly done.
Allow us to continue to talk about Nate Yeskie. And I know Jay was excited to bring him in, but you kind of put yourself in these pitchers' shoes. You know, every pitching coach might emphasize something different, have a different way of communicating with you as an individual, and you get comfortable with one guy, and then he gets a great opportunity, and you start over again.
Yeah, I think for the players, the biggest challenge is, you get a new coach, you try to prove yourself to that coach, and so this pitching staff for LSU is having, probably thought process is, I got to prove myself up now with the third coach this year. If you've been in the program for a while, but the benefit though is that sometimes you'll get new eyes and new ideas and new ways of doing things, and so Nate Yeskie certainly brings a ton of experience, 18 years in college coaching as a pitching coach, and this guy's been to quite a few World Series. Went to 3 with Oregon State, 1 with Arizona, 1 with A&M.
Yeah, he's a winner. 0-2 to Farber. And that pitch just misses. I like how you think about that, because I was kind of the glass half empty guy saying, new pitching coach, and you got to learn maybe their way of teaching, and you're looking at the positive aspect, because maybe there's a way of them communicating with you that's different. Maybe there's something that goes off as far as a light bulb that they see in your potential, your stuff. Farber pokes one to left. Pearson over to make the grab, and that's a big first out because it keeps Collier at second base.
Yeah, good metal off the bat of Ryan Farber. Tried to dump it in there in front of Pearson, but Pearson was well placed. Kind of had him played up straight up. Got to that line and made the catch. Keeps Collier at second. But yeah, Brett, going back to I learned something new from every coach that I had, and I think it was helpful to be receptive to that. But it was also coaches that have a new eye on you. They can maybe spot some things maybe the other guy didn't, and so I always tried to go into that relationship with, hey, what can he teach me?
It's a good thought process as Patino takes a strike. We're in Minute Maid Park, and the one thing this organization, the Houston Astros, have done when they have acquired pitchers in recent years is it's amazing how those pitchers have taken a jump forward. And sometimes it's about looking at the numbers and the analytics. What does this pitcher do well that maybe he hasn't done enough of at a previous stop? How can we accelerate his positives and get him to be a different tier of pitcher or different caliber of pitcher? And I got to believe it's probably the same thing in some of these big college programs too.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt about it. And some coaches more old school style. They kind of coach from the gut. They see things and they're able to kind of talk you through it. Other coaches use the technology today. It's incredible, some of these pitching labs. I think LSU was one of the first schools to introduce the pitching lab, and you get all kinds of data from that. Looking at, as we take a look at Jay Johnson, the head man for LSU, the data comes in terms of spin rates, the ball leaving your hand, your arm angle. There's just a lot that goes into improving pitching these days.
You don't throw a bullpen in the actual bullpen. You throw it in the pitching lab because you've got all the monitors and the computers, and you can turn around, get immediate feedback. You can track whatever metric number that you're looking for and really spend some time interacting with your pitching coaches who digest this.
Yep.
The 2-2 is hooked on the ground softly to Jones. He'll take it himself, waving off Hurd. That is the second out as Collier goes to third base.
I remember meeting with Tim Corbin. This is probably, gosh, at least 7 or 8 years ago, when he took me into the Vanderbilt pitching lab, and he was so excited to show off the technology. And he said, "Yeah, we've got this machine that measures spin rate. We got this machine that sees your arm angle. We got this Rapsodo thing that takes all the data in." I'm like going, man, this is like you need a degree for this stuff.
And that's where these pitching coaches and their assistants, the extra assistant analytics guys, can be so valuable. Chase Mora just hits bullets. This one, though, traveling to Kling, who will make the catch to end the inning. So a leadoff double for the Bobcats against Thatcher Hurd, but he doesn't allow that run to score, and it remains 0-0. We had a 14-11 game to start day 3. This is 0-0, though, as we go to the bottom of the third, so a little more pitching dominated. Got a guest up in the booth. This is Leah Vann from Cron.com. So she's here working in Houston. The last couple of years she's been in Baton Rouge and covering this Tiger team. So you were part of covering a national championship last year. I know this is hard to ask, but what are some of the memories that kind of jump into your mind first and foremost about that amazing year?
Oh, wow. You're like really putting me on
right
the
off
spot
the stop,
here. Oh, my
locking that
gosh.
softball up.
I mean, I think the one that stands out the most is the Paul Skeens versus Rhett Lauder matchup in the College World Series. You had two of the best pitchers in college baseball just going at it. And I mean, we were all holding our breaths waiting for somebody to crack and, get a hit. And it was just such good pitching. And normally that's pretty boring for a lot of people, but I think everybody was really on their toes. But other than that, I think I always tell people this too. The box sold out for the Tennessee series last year. And you had, again, a lot of like top draft prospects. Scouts were there. It was just a really exciting time to be in Baton Rouge. And there was a lot of fans that were really loud, especially since I think it was the LSU women's basketball team had qualified for the finals at that point during the game. So it was really incredible to see.
Well, tell us the highlight for you. Like, you started covering LSU when Jay took over as head coach.
Paxton Kling is going to be out at first base. That was a play by Powell. I thought for sure that was going to be an infield single or a base hit in the left, but Powell somehow got up and made that perfect throw to first base.
Yeah, Rob Kling of a base hit. But go back to our questions. So talk about, being with Jay for the first year he arrived and then all the way through the World Series. But what's been the highlight for you?
Oh, man, that's really hard. I mean, I guess just falling in love with college baseball, really. I mean, I guess you're in like the best place to do it. I really had no idea what I was getting into when I took the job. And the spirit of the fans, I mean, interacting with them, whether it's good or bad, they can be a little sassy at you, but they also embrace you. And I think also just covering the College World Series was an unforgettable experience as someone who has been as a fan, and to come back as a reporter was really meaningful. And all the stories I got to tell. I mean, I got to cover Dylan Cruz, I got to cover Paul Skeens, got to cover Trey Morgan. I covered all these guys where I went to spring training recently, and I saw Dylan Cruz knock a double, as a Washington National. I thought this is surreal. We're both here. It's like a proud mom moment almost.
The one thing Jay told us this week about maybe the expectations surrounding his program, what it's like in that bubble from a college baseball standpoint in Baton Rouge. And listen, I'm in Arkansas a lot. I understand that too in the SEC. It's a little bit different. He said, I can't believe at times how many people care. And he said, I don't mind the expectations. I'd rather temper them down than try and elevate those expectations. But I got to believe you feel it when you cover the team, too. You understand how passionate this fan base is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Tuesday night games against Nicholls State, UL, somebody else, they care, and they want to make sure you're tweeting about the game updates. They want to make sure you're writing about it. God forbid I go to running club for one night, take the night off, or I go on a date or something,
Josh Pearson lifts one high in the air, deep right center field. That ball's going to find the bullpen. And Tiger Nation excited for the first run of the game on a Josh Pearson homer.
Well, Pearson puts a charge into that one, and we've seen some balls fly out of here today, Brett. That one makes it to the bullpen.
Felt like he got enough backspin on this one, though, Pat, that it was going to continue to carry.
A lot of carry on that ball. Yep, Tigers are happy. They'll collect that one. I'm sure he'll get the game ball for at least the first home run of the day.
Might see another one. Tommy White's up.
Jay Johnson coming out. Was there something as far as maybe a bat flip of some sort or not? I'm curious because.
Yeah, there was a warning given.
I know there was a warning given to the LSU bench earlier. They were kind of chirping at some of the Bobcats. They might be too close to the grass for their celebration. So, Jay wasn't very happy with that first warning. He's less thrilled now.
Yeah, he's pretty upset. Leah, while this is going on, I mean, obviously plenty of excitement around LSU baseball, and you got to be a part of that for a couple of years. But you're a Texas girl. You didn't go into this thing as an LSU fan, but it sounds like you've kind of turned into a fan.
I wouldn't say that. Come on, y'all.
You can't do that as a journalist, Pat. You can't throw it right.
I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of journalists are kind of lying. I mean, in the sense that how can you not root for the team that you're covering sometimes in a way? Like, you're getting to know these guys on a day-to-day basis. You're calling their parents, their old coaches. You're telling their stories. You're like, the inside of you, like, as a human being, you're like, man, I hope they do well, right? But you can't just be in the press box, like, rooting for them.
Right.
But yeah, as a Texas girl, it was a difficult transition. They found out I was from Texas. I'm like, we don't play that often. Why are y'all have a problem with me? Like,
Well, as Tommy White steps in the box, he had an amazing year last year. And of course, it kind of gets lost with the Skeens and Cruz combination. And he's going to get himself a base hit here as it drops in front of Farber. He's going to try for two, and he's going to be out. And you got to play that guy deep. And he dropped one in front of the outfielders, but out trying to stretch it to two. So is there a note or a thought about Tommy that pops to mind after covering him last year when he was surrounded by the #1 and #2 overall picks?
Tommy, I can tell, has a lot of personality, but he doesn't like to be interviewed in front of cameras. He was way better one-on-one, but, he's a fireball. I love that kid, and he's really fun to watch. Don't hit him with a pitch, though.
No.
I feel like that really makes him mad.
I can see that. Think about last year, though. The expectations. LSU came in. Everybody said they're the undoubted #1. And for a while, they were. Didn't win the SEC regular season. Didn't win the conference tournament either. And yet there they were at the end. So they had to kind of endure that pressure really from beginning to end in that season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's LSU, so they expect to be in the College World Series and winning it all every single year.
Well, that liner kicked out of the glove of Mora, and Brady Neal's going to get himself, I would imagine, a base hit.
And they had all this talent coming into the year. You know, you're bringing in Paul Skeens and Thatcher Hurd, and those are two high caliber guys, and Tommy White. And so it was kind of, you know, but the SEC is so competitive and so full of talent that you can't count anybody out. And so I thought that was what's made it so interesting, is that they came in as kind of the team to beat. They became an underdog midway through, and then they once again were the team to beat when it came time for the College World Series.
Well, do you have any good inside baseball stories that maybe the fans, the public don't know about that team last year in terms of winning the World Series?
Oh man, wish y'all would have prepared me. No, I mean, I guess the Jello shot challenge was always really fun at the College World Series. If y'all are familiar with that, I did see some of the baseball parents there hanging out. Specifically, Dylan Cruz's dad was huge on the Jello shot challenge. And I think everybody knows that. It's pretty well known. And, but it was kind of fun to, see them a little bit having a good time and enjoying the atmosphere.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a tense atmosphere, even for parents. My sons both played college baseball, and you get into those tight situations, and you feel it as a parent. I'm sure you felt it as a reporter as well. Like, hey, it'd be really cool if LSU wins this thing.
A few more Jello shots, you're not feeling any of that.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the key.
They weren't very strong, though. You had to
That's right. You need lots of them. Trubisky strikes out. Leah Van, thanks for joining us and spending some time.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me.
Indeed. Josh Pearson added a home run as well. There she goes. 1-0 Tigers as we have completed 3 at Minute Maid. Well, it's a 1-0 game as we go to the 4th inning. Somebody order out, get some Uber Eats there for a smoothie of some sort. What do we got?
It looks like tropic time in the Texas State dugout.
We'll talk to Coach Trout soon. His Bobcats trying to go to 3-0 here at Minute Maid this weekend, and he was so excited when they got this opportunity. He told us he didn't even ask who they were playing.
That's right.
Had someone said, oh, by the way, you're playing Texas and you're going to play LSU, you might have said, well, hold on a minute, let me think about this. He didn't think, and it's worked out nicely.
It has worked out great. Texas State trying to go for their 3rd win of the weekend. Now they're working from behind.
Ramirez got a single back in the 1st, 1 for 7 this weekend. Wave and a miss against Thatcher Hurd.
Yeah, so far Hurd has been sharp. Not a base hit and a walk in the 1st. Been pretty clean ever since the double with Ian Collier lead off the 3rd, but he worked around that nicely.
Two-strike pitch to Ramirez. Waves and misses. Thatcher Hurd struck out the first two batters he faced. Has not struck out anybody since until he Ks Ramirez to begin the fourth inning.
Fastball that catches the outside corner, and Ramirez just swings through it. First out in the fourth.
This is Pena. Bounced out to Jones at first to end the first. Well, that pitch had a little bit of horizontal movement in there for strike one.
A nice slider from Hurd, and 50th pitch of the night for him. 33 strikes. Really showing good command of all of his pitches so far.
Threw that same pitch in the same spot.
Dalen Pena, part of that big story on Friday in the win over University of Houston. He hit the home run in the ninth to tie it.
Yeah, I hate to forget the dramatic moments this weekend because there have been a few that have followed. But Pena with a base hit. Reaches with one out in the fourth inning.
Hurd came right back with that slider again. He kept his hands back nice, just drove right back up the middle.
This is Galloway. "32 games a year ago, 17 starts. It was a Texas State team that in the two previous years has won 83 games. High pop up first base side, and this one will be out of play. Pat, 18 seniors, and we talk about college baseball never being older. I mean, it used to be if you'd get a senior at, say, an LSU, it would be kind of a program guy, maybe a player that might get a chance in the minors, but probably wasn't on that path. And now you're seeing teams load up with seniors, and what a benefit. I got to believe that's going to be at several times this year for the Bobcats.
Yeah, it really is. It's a veteran lineup, and got a couple of good fresh faces in there like Farber. But yeah, the rest of the lineup, at least today, is seniors, juniors, and a couple of sophomores. But really strong up and down for Steve Trout. And of course, that veteran presence, what it brings is guys that have experience. The bright lights don't interfere with their play. They just go out and play the game. And there's no panic in this team, as we've seen them a couple of times get down in games and come back, and that's what you get, kind of that steadiness, that consistency from an older lineup.
How about the work gloves he's wearing right now? He could go make some fence, jump on the back of a horse with those things. You could go through a pair of batting gloves about every couple of weeks. How about the work gloves from Galloway? Gonna wave and miss. It was a few years ago. I cover a lot of softball in the summers, and there was a team from Colorado or Wyoming, and the girls had the work gloves on. I mean, they weren't going to go through but one pair of those over the course of the season. He went fishing after that one. I got to believe you can grip that bat and then some with those things.
Yeah, no doubt. Used to use those to dig post holes.
There's a chopper to third. White, can they get two? There's one. Back to first, quickly turned. Jones kept his foot in the bag. How about that play at first base? Pat, you talked about him getting better.
No doubt. Jared Jones has really improved defensively and does a great job there to complete the ball play. White to Milam to Jones.
LSU leading 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Steve Trout, the head coach of Texas State, joins us. Coach, I'm not sure what your text messages have been like in the last couple of days or your emails or whatnot, but can you give us an idea of what it's been like, the reception, the excitement after these 2 exciting, dramatic wins here in Houston?
Yeah, way more text messages than last weekend, I promise you that. So it was, yeah, it's been fun. You know, it kind of reminds you of the run we made in 22 and some of the wins we had. And yeah, Bobcat Nation's live and well and fired up for this team.
Well, Steve, you know, looking at Aaron Lugo's swing yesterday, of course, the bubble heard round in college baseball. But do you guys work on that, blowing the bubble before you actually hit the home run?
That is not part of our drills. We do not do that. We do not do that at all. So I asked him in the clubhouse, said, hey, what was the bubble thing? He goes, I was just trying to stay relaxed. And that's about as relaxed as I see it in that moment. So
Milam will get to second with the infield base hit and then the throwing error. Anything you've picked up about this team that you didn't already know, Steve? Obviously, when you have a couple of wild games or some comebacks, you lose a lead and then you still win the game, you feel like maybe an identity is starting to develop. Yeah,
you know, I think even last weekend, I know we lost 2 of 3 in the tournament, but this team was resilient. They're tough. They battled back and they never felt like they're out of it. We did that against quality opponents this weekend, and then, you know, really learned some things about some guys yesterday on the mound, especially. You know, Matthew Tippy was phenomenal late innings, and so it was really good. So still trying to figure out our personnel a little bit, but this team's a tough team, and excited what to come back today again.
Yeah, Steve, it's a veteran team, but you've added a couple of fresh faces, one in particular, Ryan Farber. Tell us about him. He just seems like a special player.
He does. He does. The game's not too big for him. He's definitely beyond his years. So 1 second. Hey, we get C going.
It's a base hit to left field by Jared Jones. Milam stops at third base, and there's runners on the corners.
Sorry about that. Just control the bullpen as well. But yeah, he's just a really good player, right? He has quality at bats. He knows the game really well. He was even apologizing after he got thrown out last night in the 9th or in the 8th, trying to double steal. And you know, that's aggressive play, and I'm always in for aggressive. So yeah, we're lucky to have Ryan on our team, and he's a really good player.
Hey, Steve, I know you need to go here soon, but I want to let you know that
I got a pitching talk here. I got a little time now.
Hey, we had your university president on with us for half an inning yesterday, and it came during the Chase Mora Grand Slam. I think we may have got you a contract extension. I'm not sure. But he was pretty pumped up. He was pretty excited. We might have been able to get you an extra year tacked onto the back end of your deal.
I appreciate that. Kelly Damphus is the best, but I'll let my agent know. I appreciate the work, guys.
Awesome, Steve. Well, hey, man, thank you so much for joining us. I know you got this ball game to take care of, and but what a weekend for you guys. Congratulations on the 2 big wins and going for 3-0.
Yeah, I appreciate all the coverage and all the support of the program, and this is one of the best tournaments out there, so we always come anytime they ask, and yeah, hopefully make a little comeback here, make it interesting and see what happens. But fun weekend, and let's finish it off.
Absolutely. Good luck the rest of the year.
Thanks, guys.
There he goes. Named after former Cubs Steve Trout. His parents were what, 1984 Chicago Cub fans?
That's right. That's the story. Yep. Never knew that. He kind of kept that hidden for a while. Then it came out. And now he's made it public that he was named after the Cubs pitcher Steve Trout.
At least he wasn't named Keith after Keith Moreland, who was down the hallway earlier today.
That's good.
Sarge. That probably wouldn't have worked. Gary Matthews.
That's right.
Sean Dunston, spelled differently.
Chad Massengale makes his first visit to the rubber, and Sam Hall's done a good job up to this point. Gave up the solo home run in the 3rd. A couple of hits, the throwing error from his second baseman Mora. And then Jared Jones drops in a base hit as well. So 1st and 3rd situation with no outs in the 4th. Hall's going to have to work around some trouble.
See how Milam's running at 3rd. He may have kind of rolled an ankle a bit as we were visiting with Coach Trout. Brown hit an infield single his only time in. That one is just fouled outside the bag at first, past Patino.
So Jake Brown trying to work that hole between 1st and 2nd. Of course, Alec Patino having to hold on Jared Jones at the moment.
LSU leading 1-0. Threatening to add to that advantage in the 4th. I think Coach Trout was in disbelief when I told him I got him a contract extension, but we were pretty close. We could have put that together at some point.
I think so. His president Kelly Damphus was pretty energized yesterday.
For good reason. You think about what winning does on campus, and when an athletic director understands it, it's one thing. When a school president is all in favor of adding to the facilities, creating that student experience for the athletes, and then building on a bowl game and running out of beer and all that comes with that, all the stories. Athletics serving as the front porch to a university, and oftentimes you see schools really go through huge enrollment bumps when teams have a lot of success.
No, that's exactly right. Yeah, there's so much to be said about that, and the school presidents who understand that and get that and know that anytime they put $1 into the athletic program, it usually returns its value at least 2 times that, because of not only the winning facilities and the things that you bring that student athletes want to be a part of, but then they start winning, and then it draws other students into your school. So yeah, to me, it's an investment. It's not an expense when you have athletic dollars going into your budget.
And keep in mind, they're trying to still raise, I think, about $8 million to upgrade their stadium, their cages, the locker room, the seats, still fundraising. And, you never stop doing that. But it's a little more challenging when there's a lot of donors being asked for NIL too. So, you want to get those facilities and everything to an optimum level, because there's a lot of hands in the wallet in today's day and age.
That's right. The NIL has, name, image, and likeness has totally changed the landscape in college athletics. It's not only are donors being asked to fund the facilities movements, it's also to try to hang on to players.
Brown lifts one out into right center. It's going to drop. Milam will score. Jones never stopped. He's going to third. Brown to second base, in safely with a hustle double, and the Tigers have a 2-0 lead.
Second time around, the lineup usually proves to be an advantage for hitters. LSU starting to figure out Sam Hall. Nice job by Jake Brown, and didn't get full extension, but just gets enough. Ball was maybe closer to the handle than he wanted it to be. Able to dump it in a perfect spot. That'll be an RBI, and we are going to see our first pitching change. Steve Trout has already made the motion to the bullpen, so Sam Hall's day will be done.
And put up a couple of zeros before Pearson got the homer for LSU in the third, and the Tigers have added a run here in the fourth, but not done. So pitching change for the Bobcats. Will step aside. 2-0 LSU. Well, Taylor C. comes on, and we've reached that point in the weekend, Pat, where we're starting to see relief pitchers for the second time.
That's exactly right. Taylor C. on for his second opportunity this weekend, and going to put a halt to this LSU rally. See the 6-foot sophomore transfer from Angelina College. Played locally, Lake Jackson, Texas, not very far from here, Brazoswood High School, and Taylor C. making his 6th appearance of the season, has 2 2/3 innings under his belt. struck out 4, has not issued a walk. He's not given up a hit either.
Spent a little bit of time at his high school. You could tell you're not far from the Gulf when you get down to Brazoswood.
Yeah, that's right. Well, a low 3/4 delivery. You can see with C making his warm-up pitches. Good sinking fastball. There's a slider and a changeup to complement it. Working here, no outs in the 4th.
I'd say this is where the Bobcats would really like to start accumulating some outs. The problem is if Braswell gets on, then this lineup really kickstarts over. And Braswell bounced to short his only time in. First one from C, misses down and out. Well, he's really being patient on those first 2 pitches to Braswell.
A couple of sweeping breaking balls from C, and Braswell doing a good job seeing it well, not offering it either one.
Next pitch over, but a little bit low. It is 3-0.
90 miles an hour on that sinker.
From the full line, needs a strike and doesn't get it. That is a 4-pitch walk. And I think the one theme we've seen that will probably keep each and every one of these 6 coaches up at night, or their pitching coaches, is so many times, Pat, we've seen a reliever come on, and these situations and scenarios have not been great as far as runners on base, nobody out, whatnot, but that inability to start accumulating some outs and then to just tack on a few more base runners to the point where now you're really in trouble.
Yeah, and it really gets down to the bullpen and who you trust to come in to kind of be the stopper in that situation. And you know, it's early in the game, so Steve Trout's trying to bridge this game with C, but yeah, that's been an issue all throughout the weekend, Brett, and a lot of big crooked innings. It's just the inability of these pitching staffs to stop the bleeding.
Paxton Kling is 0 for 2. Updating, he's 1 for 3, and he's going to not going to cover the runs with a rope to left. Jones will score. Brown will score. The Tigers have doubled their lead. It's 4-0. Think about the tools this kid has. Maybe a potential high draft pick in Paxton Kling, and he had grounded out and struck out, and then he just hits a laser to left.
Yeah, anytime you face a sinker ball type pitcher, you've got to really be patient, wait for ball to come up in the zone, and that's exactly what Paxton Kling does. That sinker, when it's up, it tends to straighten out. Kling just straightened it out to left field for a couple of RBI.
Sure did. Josh Pearson had the homer an inning ago. It went out into the bullpen in right center. So C came on maybe for just one batter. We'll find out. Or a couple of batters.
Yep, Trout on his way out. Maybe it for C. And you know, the walk to Braswell, the bases loaded single to Kling. Double barrel action in the Bobcat bullpen. Steve Trout also sensing the same thing we are, Brett. We just got through talking about it, how quickly these games get away when bullpen can't hold it down.
So the Cats are going to the bullpen. LSU has jumped the lead up to 4-0. Rhett McCafferty. He's also making his second appearance this weekend.
Yeah, the local product from Cy-Fair High School. He'll stand 6 foot. The senior. You mentioned Brett's second appearance of this tournament. His 5th appearance of the season, 6 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 4 hits, couple runs, only walked 1, and struck out 9. The senior lefty called upon to try to keep this 4-0 lead where it is.
Kind of have the feeling that this is a really crucial inning for the Bobcats to try and limit any further damage.
I think so. We've seen this a lot of runs scored by Texas State, but the way Thatcher Hurd has been pitching, and of course the bullpen in LSU is in great shape today. Steve Trout senses the same thing, that can't allow too many more runs before this thing gets away.
Of course, I say that. In the game we had yesterday, it was 6-0 Texas State. Before you know it, Texas is leading late. And then the game we had this morning, it was an 11-3 Longhorn lead, and Vandy scored 11 unanswered to win 14-11.
And Josh Pearson showing bunt.
He's looking for his 3rd hit already, and we're in the 4th inning. Just did drift off the corner from McCafferty. This was the homer in the 3rd. Boy, he backspun this ball out there in the bullpen.
Sure did. Nice swing. Well, just kept carrying.
Boy, you love that as a hitter. Ball lifted to left. Pena. A lot of room before he gets to the track. He'll make the catch, and that's a important step 1 for the Bobcats towards getting out of this inning, especially with White and Neal due up.
Yeah, big out because Pearson wasn't able to advance either Braswell or Paxton Kling.
White is singled and also flied out to right. Remember, his first year was at NC State. He had 27 home runs. Last year, 24. So with a couple this season, you could easily see him getting to the number that Matt Laporta put up with 74 not that long ago. Just crazy numbers for Tommy Tanks. First team All-American, College World Series All-Tournament team. 24 doubles, 102 hits. Won't forget that walk-off homer against Wake. And you think about walk-off home runs in the College World Series in LSU lore. I mean, it usually starts and ends with one guy, and that would be Warren Morris in 1996 at the old Rosenblatt in Omaha. But when you start to put your name on that list with Warren Morris, it's a small list, heady company.
It's a little different. This is a guy you expect to see in the big leagues at some point, probably next 2 to 3 years.
Ground ball to the right side. All he does is drive in runs. Braswell will turn 3rd and score. LSU's made it a 5-0 lead. Got to simplify it, Pat. Put the ball in play. There was an open hole, and White just chopped one into right field.
Well, he defeats the shift, and it's just a smart, mature hitter. It's Tommy White. You know, everybody gets oohs and ahs over his power, but it's the ability to handle the bat like that, where he takes advantage of an infield shift and produces the 5th LSU run. He just does so many things well with the bat. You know, such good bat-to-ball skills. It's not just all about power for him.
Brady Neal has a single and 2 at-bats. He had a couple of home runs against Rice back on Wednesday. So it makes sense. He's up there to bunt.
Kind of a safety squeeze situation here for the Tigers, and Jay Johnson catching that Bobcat defense back on the infield. Said, hey, okay, well, I'll just take advantage of that. Not able to get it down, though.
Brady Neal did not play after April 8th of last year. Had the 2 homers against Rice. Good pitch for a strike from McCafferty. Neal was drafted way back at a high school out of IMG in the 17th round by the Brewers. Still only 1 out this inning. McCafferty would love a strikeout. Pretty good slider, fouled back.
Sure was. Kept the at-bat alive. And close enough to swing at. Neal keeps the at-bat alive.
You could see Collier wanting that one further off the corner, and Neal would not chase. Four runs home this inning for LSU. Here at the Astros Foundation College Classic. Brett Dolan, Pat Combs.
It's been a lot of fun this weekend. A lot of great baseball, and this Bobcat team has had quite a flair for the dramatic. Had a lot of work to do, though, to get back into this one against LSU.
And McCafferty really trying to get Neal to chase.
Neal's run the count full.
And takes ball 4. So that one hurts. That'll bring up Travinski, who will be the 9th man to hit this inning. And also a right-handed batter. Chance to take aim against this lefty for those Crawford boxes in left.
Last fastball didn't miss by much, but it missed in. Not the guy you want to face with bases loaded. He's swung the hot bat last couple of nights for LSU. The victim of a couple of strikeouts, though, in this game.
Indeed. He struck out a couple of times. But a Tiger at every base. Already a 4-run inning. And Travinski can double that with one mighty swing. And the ball has been jumping today. We've been playing indoor baseball. Sometimes when you open the roof, the wind kind of helps you and pushes some balls out to left field.
Yeah, a little jet stream.
Today it's been pure strength of these hitters. Two-0 pitch with the bases loaded. Boy, if you're Travinski, you got to be thinking you're going to get a fastball, and he did, and then still took it.
Good take by Travinski, and McCafferty really struggling with the command. Last 7 pitches have been balls.
Swinging 3-0 is Travinski. He was trying to take out that train on the tracks in left field.
Got a decent pitch to swing at, too. Fastball middle in. How was that off the leg of Ian Collier, the catcher?
Hey, Bobby, wake up out there. You're in play. Hayden Travinski wants to hit one up on top of those tracks. See what McCafferty wants to do. The 3-1 pitch. That's a called strike.
Might have been in.
Thought so too.
Yeah. And Eric Gaucher given the strike call, but I think this pitch is off the plate. Yeah, no doubt. Almost in the batter's box.
Bases loaded. Full count to Travinski. Hard hit. Maybe a chance to get a force at second. Powell's relay to first. Not in time. Mora had to kind of surround that smash and couldn't quickly feed it to Powell. Otherwise, that DP might have ended the inning. Instead, LSU cashes in another run.
Yeah, it looked like Morrill just lost his footing at second base. Morrill had a little bit of spin on it, backed up away from him, and by the time he was able to corral it, backhand flip to Powell. Powell over to Patino, not in time, but
he was contending with the umpire as well.
Yeah,
trying to find that baseball. It's a wonder he was able to even come up with that, the way he anticipated that ball being a couple of feet in a different spot than what he got.
Yeah, kind of got shaded out there.
Milam led off this inning by beating out an infield single. Jay Johnson comped Milam for me as a Robert Moore, a guy I saw at Arkansas. I think it was last year. Jay was on the MLB Network draft show, and he was fantastic because he knows all the top college players, and he knows most of the high school players because he's probably at least thrown out a fishing line to see if they're interested and able to kind of communicate. I told him he made it look too easy when I saw him this summer.
Well, Milam batting around this inning for LSU, and Tigers have had their 5th run this inning, 6th of the game. Cafferty having some command issues yet again.
Some more activity ongoing in that Texas State bullpen. Milam, the #1 ranked player in the state of New Mexico last year. Gatorade Player of the Year. And takes one a little bit off the corner. Of course, no doubt he's a huge Alex Bregman fan. He said Bregman had a huge influence on him, so he saw what Alex did going to LSU and then the pro ranks and kind of wants to follow that path, as you could imagine.
Yeah. Pretty good legacy there for. He takes a walk. Nope. Called a strike. Wow.
Tell you what, Milam, the freshman, not so sure. And
we've got a couple of wide strike calls this inning. That ball's way inside.
Just hit his back kneecap. Runner goes 3-2, fouled back into the upper tank.
Jay Johnson not happy. Second call we've seen, one on Travinsky and that one on Milam, that about 3 or 4 inches inside off the plate.
A long pause before another 3-2 pitch. Here it comes. And that is high, and that's ball 4. So Milam is going to reach twice this inning. And the bases are loaded again.
You play an LSU team, and you just can't offer free passes. This lineup's tough enough to beat. Now we've seen the 3rd walk of the inning. And yet another visit to the mound. Steve Trout trying to find somebody that can throw strikes.
Kind of a helpless feeling, isn't it, Pat? Trying to find somebody that can just give you a few innings right now, get a few outs.
It really is. It's the Bobcats come in today, of course, winning the first 2 games of this weekend, and I'm sure that was their goal. If we can walk out here with a winning record, we'll be happy. Tell you about the next pitcher in just a moment.
Peyton Zabel comes on, trying to find a way to end this long 4th inning and get the Bobcats back in the dugout.
Well, the tall senior, 6'7" of him, from Pierre, South Dakota. Pitched at Iowa Western Community College. And Zabel, a couple of starts already for Texas State this season, but making his first appearance out of the bullpen. Been a bit of a struggle for him. 5 innings. He's given up 4 hits, 4 earned runs. So elevated ERA, but command has been the issue for him. 8 walks in those 5 innings, 6 strikeouts. Steve Trout, the Bobcats, hoping he will find that command today.
Yeah, South Dakota native, Iowa Western Community College product. Really good baseball JUCO. He gets his opportunity to try to get that final out in the 4th, and then if you can get some outs, you might stick around in this game for quite some time. Jared Jones about to step in. Let's take a look back to Friday and watch this swing against the Texas Longhorns. Disappears out of your camera shot. He got it out of the park so quickly.
And Jones, one of those guys with that real quiet swing, great approach.
Yeah, the talent is evident is the phrase I've heard about Jared Jones this week, and for good reason. He singled and walked already in this game. 14 homers, 45 knocked in a year ago. The sophomore out of Marietta, Georgia.
Yeah, the swinging skills have always been there. He's always been a solid hitter. There's some big shoes to fill at first base, replacing Trey Morgan, and just a really athletic first baseman and great defender. Talked about Jones improving in that area, and certainly has shown today. Chance to bust this game wide open.
Good pitch. Strike 3. Inning over. But the Tigers score 5 runs in the inning on 5 hits. Big lead as we head to the 5th. Single game tickets for the 2024 season are on sale now, so make sure you get your tickets to see your Houston Astros on their relentless pursuit for baseball's biggest prize. Visit Astros.com/tickets to get yours today. Fans singing along as this game begrudgingly moves into the 5th inning. 6-0 our score.
That was a long 4th.
It was. 11 men batted. And Thatcher Hurd back out there, and Aaron Lugo, yesterday's hero, singles into center. So he had a rocket to center for an out earlier, and this time gets the base hit.
Well, Thatcher Hurd had a long time to wait to get himself back on the rubber. About a 30-minute half inning as we saw 3 pitching changes from Texas State. Lugo greets him with the base hit up the middle to start this 5th inning.
And this is Davis Powell, who flied to right his only time in. Yeah, I got to believe for Hurd, you're happy to have the run support. You were sitting a long time.
Yeah.
You know, Jay did tell us he was kind of working through a few things, maybe mechanically, just trying to, you know, take advantage of this opportunity to piece it all together as you get towards conference season, SEC play.
Going to be pleased with what he sees so far.
I think you're right.
38 strikes and 59 pitches. 64% strikes coming into the inning. Looks like mechanically just really keeping things simple and repeatable. That's been the goal here last couple of weeks for him.
Soft liner towards Pearson and left. It'll hang up long enough for him to make the catch. And that's the first out of the inning.
Breaking ball fooled Davis Powell and got out in front of it. It's easy to try to cheat to that fastball from Hurd. Start out the game sitting in the mid-90s, and the velocity has stayed there.
Ian Collier doubled off the top of the fence in left, just missed a home run by maybe a couple of feet in the 3rd inning, and he was stranded at third base. He is the only Bobcat to reach 3rd in the game. Hurd really does bring that leg kick up just a bit. Raises that left leg and then comes down directly towards the plate.
Yeah, one thing you'll have to consider going forward, though, is trying to shorten that kick.
Too much?
Yeah, it's just a little slow to the plate.
You could see that.
And the age of Major League Baseball, when everything favors the base runner now, and we'll have to definitely modify that in the future.
Watch him tuck this almost up to his chest. Now, Texas State's only stolen 7 bases this year, but I think your point's a good one, Pat. There will be some teams that will try and get on and run against him.
Yeah.
Three and 1 to Collier. 1 on, 1 out for the Bobcats here in the 5th inning.
And especially at the next level, too. You've got, you know, the restriction on pickoff moves you can make to any base now in the major leagues. The bigger bases have shortened up the baseline for base runners, so
a lot of things really in the favor of the base stealer.
Yeah.
Trying to encourage people to run, because in this era of analytics, there's that risk reward on what's the benefit of stealing the base versus the risk of losing one of your 3 outs.
Yeah. See if the Bobcats want to put Lugo in motion here. 3-2. Oh, he took off.
He got a huge running jump.
Yeah, he did.
Collier will strike out, but that was a hop, skip, jump, step, 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 and there was still no movement. So an easy base for Lugo. Not many times you're running down 6-0, but that one was pretty easy.
Yeah. Lugo took that first 2 steps and said, I hope he doesn't turn and pick because I'm out. Made it easy to second, though. Good anticipation. Hurd not checking first base in that full count.
Back to the top of the lineup for Farber. He takes strike 1. Good breaking ball. Good curve from Thatcher Hurd.
Hurd to spot up that breaking ball. Really nice. Opened a couple of sequences, and he's got the bigger breaking ball, the curve ball, and he's got the tighter slider. Kind of a cut fastball. That handcuffed Travinski. I think Travinski thought something else was coming.
That's a good stop.
Yeah. He was not ready for that fastball.
Hurd 2 pitches away from 70. Trying to get through 5 innings.
You got the pitch calm watch on. How do you get crossed up when you got the watch?
It's supposed to be the point of it. At least one of the points. And yet Vanderbilt, I think, was one of the first teams to wear the watch, and they were pretty much every single time today where Tim Corbin's going the old-fashioned signals to his
I saw
hitters.
that. Yeah. They had the earpiece intercom system in as well with their catcher, and all kinds of technology going.
Ball and 2 strikes to Farber. Pokes it to the left side. Braswell can't get it. The ball kicks away, and it's going to provide a run. So Lugo, by swiping second base, able to score on that ball that was kicked by the LSU shortstop. And the Bobcats are on the board.
Yeah, it's probably an infield base hit. I don't think Braswell would have had a play. But the mistake, I think, on Braswell's part was he just should have knocked the ball down. I mean, he was trying to look like he was going to make a play with it. There's no way he was going to get Farber at first base, and he just knocks it down, keeps it in front, keeps that run from scoring.
Well, we've seen a few comebacks of 6 and 8 runs and whatnot. Base hit RBI for Farber.
You do count that as a single for Farber.
That makes sense. You weren't going to probably throw him out. The kicker was, you're right, just by not even cleanly coming up with that baseball, it provided the extra base and the run to Lugo. And Patino tried to hold back, but plate umpire said that is a swing. And it's strike 1. Patino asking maybe that same question.
Keeping a close eye on Farber. That's going to bring Nate Yeske out from the dugout. Talking about how they want to approach Patino here with Farber at first base. The Bobcats would like to pick up another run, get Farber into scoring position if they can.
Is this taking his temperature to see where he's at physically, if he's feeling good? Is this simply strategy on facing Patino, because he really hasn't had many bumps in the road to this point?
Yeah, I think it's more strategy how they want to approach Patino. The pitch count is at 71, so I think there's still something left in the tank for Hurd. Maybe an issue with Yeske saying, hey, don't get too distracted with Farber. Make sure you got your mind made up to go home and deliver a good pitch here.
Nothing in 1 the count to Patino. 0 for 2 today, 4 hits so far this weekend in the previous 2 games. Both wins for Texas State. In fact, a pair of 2-0 teams. Vanderbilt won all 3 of their games with the big come from behind effort, scoring 11 unanswered to take down Texas. So we'll have another 3-0 team emerging from this game. Hurd's pitch cut on a missed. Chase Mora on deck if Patino can keep this 5th inning alive. Farber's going to run. Pearson chasing that ball into the corner. It's off the fence. For some reason, with 2 outs, Farber stopped. And he's going to get to third, but he's confused. Was there some type of obstruction, interference, or did he just simply forget how many outs there were?
Yeah, I think he got deked at second base. LSU,
strategic aspect of it.
Strategery there.
Why would you get deked with 2 outs?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, you can't get deked there. So we've seen a base running mistake by Farber. That would have been the second Bobcat run.
Because he was running with the pitch. So when this ball takes this bounce, it's probably going to be another run. And right there you see only Farber going to third base.
Yeah, you wonder if something was said to him like, hey, it's a pop-up, it's foul ball. You know, you never know what some of these infielders can pull on you. But Farber pulled up.
It worked. Chase Mora, a dribbler to short. Braswell has to hurry the throw, and he threw it away. And 2 runs are going to score. Just a dribbler to short, and Braswell's had a tough inning. A good throw gets Mora, but that was way offline, and 2 more runs come across on the 2-out E6.
Hey, took kind of a bad route to the ball.
He did.
Not sure if Patino crossing in front of him may have distracted him, but yeah, didn't go straight to it, kind of rounded it off and then had to make a tough throw across his body. Way wide of first base. Jones could not come up with it. It's going to be a 2-base error for Braswell.
So from 6-0 to 6-3, and here's Ramirez. I thought that Deke might keep a run from scoring, and then immediately that ground ball to Braswell that was thrown away provides 2 more 2-out runs.
So it's going to be ruled an infield hit and a throwing error. A couple of tough plays for the Tiger shortstop this inning.
1-1 to Ramirez. Flip to first. Mora back in diving.
Just like that, the Bobcats have cut this lead in half.
Well, we've seen this song a time or two.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
In the last couple of days. Somewhat comfortable leads, and all of a sudden, 2 or 3 runs get thrown up on the board in maybe an unusual fashion, and then all of a sudden the comeback is on.
That hit him.
And then you mix in a free base.
That might be it for Hurd. Kind of an innocent starting inning. You gave up the leadoff single to Lugo, but then you got the quick out with Powell and strike Collier out. Last 4 Bobcat hitters have now reached.
All right, long ball from Pena. This game is tied. A moment ago it was 6-0.
They're going to try to let Hurd work himself out of this.
Problem is they didn't have anybody up in the bullpen because there really wasn't much need.
Yeah. Still good stuff. 94 on the fastball. It's his 79th pitch.
Remember, LSU left the bases loaded after they scored 5 runs last inning. It felt like they could have put more on the board, and all of a sudden now Texas State with 3 in the 5th.
No appeal. Well, we've seen this Bobcat team do this a time or two, and they don't mind playing from behind.
They do not, and that gets back to the 18 seniors on this team. And Pena is junior, but certainly a lot of veteran players, to the point where even when you're facing the defending national champions who are 10-1 this year, you get down 6-0. There might be some teams that are starting to think, when does the bus leave for San Marcos?
Right.
But not them.
No panic in the dugout. Not with this group.
Wave and a miss, and that was a pitch that was left a bit elevated.
Yeah,
and
it was.
Pena swung through it.
It's a big swing. Hanging slider. Got away with that pitch.
Thatcher Hurd has some LSU fans on their feet trying to get through this inning. He gets the wave and a miss from Pena. Got him to go fishing. Strange inning, though. Bobcats strand a pair, but they score 3 to get right back in this game. I've seen more popcorn tubs as hats this weekend, Pat, than I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not that buttery popcorn and makes your hair all greasy.
That's right. A lot of youngsters in their uniforms here in the ballpark as well. Bobcat fans excited to see their team climb back in it. 6-3 LSU ready to bat in the bottom of the 5th. And this is Jake Brown. 8-9-1 due up for the Tigers. McCafferty, the third pitcher Texas State has used in the game, and pretty good start for Jake Brown, freshman from Sulphur, Louisiana.
Peyton Zabel, nice breaking ball right behind that 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
One guy we're not seeing today is Mac Bingham, the Arizona transfer. Had huge numbers last year at Arizona. Played for Jay when he was in Tucson. And guys like Jake Brown and others getting an opportunity to play on this Sunday. Wave and a miss. Good pitch.
Breaking ball from Zabel. The ball has some nice downward tilt. Good action to it.
Had some spin.
Yeah.
Braswell walked and scored back in that big 4th inning. Dumps one down in the right, falling fast, base hit. Retrieved by Galloway and played back in. Here come the Tigers with their 11th hit of the game.
Jam shot for Braswell, and enough to get out there for the base hit. Nice job of pulling those hands in and just getting the part of the barrel to it.
Back to the top of the lineup for Paxton Kling. He'll take strike one. He had a 2-run single just an inning ago in the 4th. He was hit by a pitch twice in that game Wednesday at Rice, part of a 16-4 victory. They had a huge crowd, almost 4,700 over at Rice at Reckling. So again, they've been in town for a few days, coming in Tuesday, playing that Wednesday game, and at least able to play the middle game here on a Sunday to head towards Baton Rouge. It's going to be fouled back and on a play. And again, they're going to be at Southeastern on Wednesday, so you know that'll be quite an atmosphere to go on the road around the state.
Making the rounds. A lot of schools around Baton Rouge that you can play those midweight games with, and good job of hitting the road with some of those. Yeah.
Tulane and Nichols and
Yep.
Louisiana. Keep going. Northwestern.
Yep.
I mentioned Jason Kelly was the pitching coach a couple of years ago. Now he's at Washington, and I talked to him about the fact that they have a hard time at Washington playing early in the season at home, and then they really have a hard time with midweek games. It's hard to get teams from that region to Seattle. And when he was at LSU, you know, you have all these teams you can play in Tuesday games that want nothing more to play you and to try and beat you.
Oregon State, same issue, and
yep.
You've got Oregon State, Washington State going to go independent next year in baseball.
Wave and a miss by Kling. It's really unfortunate for Oregon State, considering their baseball tradition and their success.
Yeah, no doubt. Mitch Canham, the great coach at Oregon State. Swing and a miss by Kling. Zabel's worked that breaking ball a couple of times for strikeouts here in the 5th. Nasty pitch. Now Jay Johnson will call the offensive timeout. This will give his bullpen more time. If, start somebody fresh here in the 6th inning. Thatcher Hurd up to 81 pitches in the game. That 83.
Batter's going to be Josh Pearson. He started the scoring back in the 3rd inning with a home run into the bullpen. It's the only home run we've had in this game.
That was a bit of a shock after we saw 7 in the first game.
And the ball was jumping in game 1. Two outs, bottom of the 5th. Pearson takes is just outside. I thought maybe he was going to get a strike on the corner for McCafferty. Comes with that big over the top breaking ball.
Yeah, backdoor style, and that one does catch the corner.
Pearson will wave and miss, so McCafferty works around a bloop single in the 5th inning, puts up a 0 against the Tigers. See if Texas State has some momentum as they come to bat in the 6th. Well, Thatcher Hurd's day is done, and Christian Little comes on the pitch against Texas State in the top of the 6th inning.
Christian Little has all the makeup. The top line pitcher really had trouble putting it all together. Last year the statistics would tell the story there, but making his 4th appearance of the season, has given up 3 hits, 3 runs, and 2 1/3 innings. Struck out 3, walked 2, but 6'4", 235-pound senior from St. Louis came out of Vanderbilt. Arm is there. The stuff is good. Just him being able to improve his command.
Wasn't that long ago. It was a 6-0 game, now 6-3. So the margin of error is not one that you can afford. Maybe a couple of base runners and the possibility of one swing tying the game. Now I'm curious here. Jay was out there talking to the umpiring crew as he goes to the mound. I don't think this is a true visit because he's taking Eric Gaucher with him, but I don't know what they might be asking.
Yeah, checking maybe his health. There was some sort of indication he may have hurt something, but
I thought so too, but they didn't take the trainer out there. So you see our plate umpire saying no
visit.
No visit.
Yeah. Not sure what they saw, but Little's fastball 94-95. Cutter, changeup, and a curveball.
Galloway leads off the top of the 6th. First pitch swinging. Little's going to get one out on one pitch if this one is caught by Brown, and he'll make the play. Economical beginning to the top of the 6th inning.
Feel like coming out of the pen. One pitch, one out.
We've had a few pitchers in this weekend that have thrown about 25 pitches and haven't gotten an out before they've been asked to leave.
Yeah, that is true.
Before they were encouraged to head to the dugout. Lugo's hit the ball hard twice after his heroics yesterday, and he is lined to center and singled and scored.
Oh, little chin music.
Lucky to get out of the way.
Cork 96 at your face.
He looked a little bit like Ken Griffey Jr. right now.
I was going to say, yeah, that tongue hanging out. Yep.
Close up of Little again
exactly
up on our
right.
screen, because that, to me, there was some Ken Griffey Jr. in that face.
Watch your lips.
Goodness.
He goes back and paints the bottom of the zone on you.
Junior college player out of New Mexico, JC. He's just hit 3 rockets today.
He is locked in.
2 hits to show for his efforts. Took that pitch up around his helmet. Just gets back in the box and hits another laser.
Yeah, no bubble on this one, but effective nonetheless.
That previous pitch might have hit the bubble as it went right by him. Would have been the first HBP bubble gum.
Would have taken some gum with it. Yep.
Davis Powell, the 8-hole hitter, next in. Off to a bit of a slow start. He's going to one-hop one to Braswell. Should be 2. Out at second. Back to first. Double play. So Little faces 3. Works around the single. Gets the double play. Remains a 6-3 LSU lead. Gentlemen, I'm not sure if he's awake or not. Related to ZZ Top.
I was going to say, that looks like the drummer.
Oh, he's moving. He's okay. He's up. He's with us.
Yep. And his sunglasses on at night. It's a different band, wasn't it?
Well, we've seen a little bit of everything this weekend. Well, the Simba Cam is getting them to
That's
elevate
original.
their friends.
There you go.
Put her down. 6-3 Tigers lead as this game moves into the bottom of the 6th inning. And every team that faces Tommy White, as much as they hate to face him, love to do so when he leads off an inning. At worst, he can only score 1 run. He was trying to do that home run cut on that mighty swing to start the 6th.
That was, yeah. 94 up in the zone, and Zabel gets away with that one.
Pat, I know White's not a big guy. You really see him kind of squat down. He skies another one in the air to right field towards Galloway. Galloway makes the catch, one gone. Always find it a little bit unusual with his stance, how low he gets.
Yeah. He does. It is an unorthodox stance. Kind of keeps his upper body straight up with those knees pointing down. He's able to retire him. Boy, you've seen a lot of teams this weekend, Brett, start to pound that fastball inside on White.
I know some people have been wondering who's going to protect him in that lineup. In other words, bat behind him so the teams don't have to pitch around him. As Brady Neal gets that job today. But as Jay Johnson said, I just want him batting in a position where there's guys on base in front of it, wherever that may be.
Well, I think that was the idea of dropping him down to that 3-hole today. Yep.
Just gives an opportunity for a couple of teammates to get on base and still get him up in that first inning. But this is a lineup a little bit like the Vandy team we saw in the previous game that's really going to go 1 through 9 some contests and do a lot of damage. And it never happens every single game. But it's not like the college teams where you get through the middle of their lineup and you could kind of coast for an inning. It's not the case.
Nope. No easy outs in this lineup. We talked about Jared Jones batting in the 7-hole today. He could probably bat cleanup in a lot of SEC lineups.
Big swing from Neal and a foul ball right back to the netting. Two balls, 2 strikes. That one is shot fair down the line, hits off the short fence and ricochets out into left field, and Brady Neal will coast to second base with a double and his second hit of the game.
Hey, that's a great piece of hitting from Brady Neal. Breaking ball was down and away, kind of trying to backdoor from Zabel, and did a great job of staying back and driving it the other way. Good job letting that ball get deep. And the question was it going to stay fair, and it sure did. Sliced it right into that corner.
Tigers probably wouldn't mind a few more runs. Hayden Travinski drove in a run with a fielder's choice back in the 4th, officially 0 for 3, also a couple of Ks. Pitch came in around his hands. LSU would move to 11-1 if they can get this win today after a 3-0 weekend. We saw them a couple of years ago here in 22. Huge alumni base, of course, in Houston for the Tigers. But as Jay Johnson mentioned, I believe he said they had 3 players from their recruiting class that were here watching his team play in 2022. So, you know, you get a lot of these Houston kids. You encourage them to come here. And, you know, it's a big event. Something to dangle out in front of them.
That's right. And LSU does get their fair share of Texas players.
It's a catcher up in the suburbs named Cade Arambidi, who put on just a freakishly impressive show at the Perfect Game National Showcase this year. We're talking about arm strength of 100 from the outfield and behind the plate, and yeah, it was something. That ball hit in the air, down the line and left, towards the Crawford boxes, hits off the base of the fence. A little bit of topspin there from Travinski. He will chase on Neal. That's the 7th LSU run. Back-to-back doubles by the Tigers. That didn't even make the outfield fence, but kind of short hop the wall or hit the very base of the fence and left.
Yeah, I think it got in on the hands a little bit of Travinski. Not able to quite get the barrel to it, but man, is he strong. Just muscles that ball out to that left field wall. It's going to be a visit from Steve Trout. Could be it for Zabel. Zabel done a pretty good job up until Neal and Travinsky only giving up the 1 hit, struck out 4. Pretty good command of 3 pitches.
He had given the Bobcats what they needed until these last 2 doubles.
And this is Chad Massengale, the pitching coach. This may not be a pitching change. We'll be buying some time here. Bullpen is up and going for Texas State, but his Zabels look pretty sharp, and I think they're going to leave him in, and they are. He's had pretty good stuff. The Tigers get one of those 3 runs back that they gave up in the 5th. Extended to a 4-run lead.
And this is Milam. Single and a walk and a line out. Big breaking ball falls in at the knees for strike 1. Fly out to right before back-to-back doubles. It made this a 4-run LSU advantage. And that pitch carries off the corner. Las Cruces, New Mexico native Stephen Milam rips one to right. This ball's down. It's going to go all the way to the fence. Travinsky will score. Milam will stop at second base. That's 3 straight doubles, tacking on 2 more LSU runs.
This is a great swing from Milam, and this one laced into right field. The Tigers doing a good job of really staying back on these breaking balls and letting them get deep, not getting too far out in front. And Milam barrels that pitch up. Eighth run on the board for the Tigers.
Yeah, this is the danger, I think, facing LSU. As Jared Jones bats. 1 for 2 with the walk. At times you can feel like you do a decent job against them. They've hit 1 home run today, a solo shot. They had the 1 5-run inning, but you look up and they still have 8 runs on 14 hits in the 6th inning.
Yeah.
You feel like at times they haven't exactly blistered you around the yard, and yet they're still doing their fair share of damage.
Well, they had 5 hits back in the 4th. They did leave the bases loaded after they scored 5 runs, but you're right, Brett, it could have been a lot worse. They have left quite a few runners in scoring position, and look down at the scorecard, it's 8 runners left on base, so it's a score that could be a lot worse. They have piled up the hits.
That's what was so amazing about the Vandy comeback in game 1. Again, down 11-3, 11 unanswered runs to win 14-11. They had 15 hits. They only left 5 guys on base all game.
Really efficient, moving runners and scoring them.
Right now, Zabel just trying to pick up a couple of outs, find a way through this 6th. High fly, medium depth right field off the bat of Jones. Galloway's caught one of those up in the rafters this inning. There's another. Milam's going to third base. That throw was not that far off of being a potential out at third. A little bit offline.
Yeah, strong arm from Rashawn Galloway, of course. Came into the program as a catcher. Have found a place in the outfield for him when he's not catching or DHing, and a lot of potential, but yeah, really strong arm. Just off up the line a bit. But Milam moves over to third.
2 gone for Jake Brown. Single and a double. 2 of the 14 hits for LSU. This was scoreless into the 3rd inning. That one fouled down the line and left, and I mentioned Pearson had that homer in the 3rd, then that 5-run 4th inning, and now 2 more for LSU in the 6th. Zabel working from the windup. How about a 2-out bunt? Rolled foul off the bat of Brown.
Yeah, it looked like the pitcher Zabel may have done something to his leg or his ankle.
Oh no.
Yeah. Jake Brown showed bunt. Looked like he was trying to jump off the mound. And
I think he caught a cleat or just maybe rolled that ankle.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, he slipped, but not sure if he pulled a muscle or he rolled his ankle in the process.
Let's take another look.
You see the bunt attempt and then watch Zabel maybe make that subtle move or that quick move.
Sniper got
him.
You really feel bad when you realize that's going to be a foul ball, because he was in a hurry to get down that line and obviously wanted to end the inning and not give up a bunt hit and whatnot.
Yeah. Might have jammed that that heel. Looked like he kind of caught that cleat. He was trying to make that quick move to third base. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to go, but
he's trying to talk himself into staying in this game.
Yeah. Look him at least 1 or 2 tosses to see if he can't recover. Yeah, problem is it's his push leg.
He looks a little wobbly to begin with.
Yeah.
This first pitch will tell us everything we need to know.
That didn't look bad.
No, I think he's going to find a way. That first one was another wobble. That was probably going to be it.
Looks good to me.
All right, play on, says Pat.
I think Steve Stroud said the same thing. Let's go. Jake Brown trying to take advantage of Aaron Lugo playing way back behind the bag at third base, and this might be a good way to collect our 9th run if I can just lay a bunt down. Now with 2 strikes, that's off the table.
Wouldn't you know it? Now he has to go cover. Has to field and flip, and he gets the out. If he had to take another couple of steps, that would have been Murphy's Law right there.
Yep.
Ball will find you. He might not make it to the dugout. Now a 5-run game. Hey, we've got some spring training baseball coming your way on the network. Tuesday and Wednesday, Marlins and Mets, 11:30 a.m. first pitches. Then the Nationals, Tigers, and Phillies for the next week. March is madness in basketball, but it's also a little bit crazy when it comes to spring training games getting ready to work towards opening day. So we got to put those guys to work. I'm glad we got them into some college games with Blummer and TK, but now they need to get back to their day jobs. Is there a rule that we have to have a conversation with the pitcher and the umpires before every half inning about something?
Well, I think they're checking Christian Little's glove.
I mean, first someone's got a bad foot, then we got a glove, and then we need to see if he's okay, and then somebody's celebrating too much. And
is the glove dark enough? Yeah.
Anyhow, here we go. 7th inning.
Is it past the color rule?
Was it too white? Was it too chalky?
Yeah, we saw a glove tossed out last weekend, and that was against Tennessee, and Tony Vitello was none too happy about it. I think there had to be some clarification around the color of the glove rule. Yeah.
All right. Wave and a miss by Collier. Tony V wasn't happy, you say?
I know, shocker.
He's one of my favorites, though, I will say. I really enjoy talking baseball with Vitello.
Oh, he's tremendous, man.
You know, when they say teams take on the personality of their manager, head coach, that's true.
That is.
Tennessee.
Yeah. It is a passionate group.
Spirited.
Speaking of passion and spirit, Bobcats need some of that. Get things going.
There you go. Collier singles to center to begin the 7th inning.
Nice afternoon for Ian Collier. A couple of hits.
You know, sometimes they will say, as Jay Johnson makes the walk out to the mound, that early in the year pitching is ahead of hitting. I will say this weekend, this event, it feels like these hitters have just handed it to the pitchers over and over.
Yeah, more than evened it out. They have had the upper hand in some of these games. Well, the glove gets to stay in, but I don't know if Christian Little's going to stay in.
Well, that'd be something if he just left the glove because it works, but he has to leave.
That's going to be it. Johnston signals to the bullpen, and Jay makes the move.
LSU about to bring on their 3rd pitcher of the game. We'll step aside, come back with more right after this. Third pitcher for the Tigers today is left-hander Javen Coleman.
Yeah, good numbers from Javen Coleman. 2-0 record, 2.57 earned run average, 7 innings pitched. Walked 3, struck out 9. Coleman, the lefty, stands 6'2" from Richmond, Texas. He was a homeschooler.
From our neck of the woods.
Yeah. Can you believe that LSU has used 19 pitchers so far in this season? 19 different arms.
Almost feels like a spring training clubhouse worth of pitchers.
Sure does. The open tryouts. It is a deep bullpen.
Coleman was drafted in the 16th round by the Dodgers this past year. Had his Tommy John in March of 22. This is Farber. He's going to wave and miss.
A low 90s fastball. Pretty good run with it.
Leadoff single by Collier this inning. Farber looking for a second hit, but this one's going to hang up long enough for Brown to make the catch.
Nice shot by Farber right at Jake Brown. He'll take about 2 or 3 steps in.
Alec Patino doubled and scored back in that 3-run Texas State 5th inning, and it really, for a couple of innings, kind of changed the complexion of this game because LSU led 6-0 through 4, and Texas State took advantage of an infield single, a throwing error, a dribbler to plate 3 runs, all with 2 outs, and then LSU responded with 2 of their own in the bottom of the 6th. One on, one out. Here in the Texas State 7th inning. Coleman's next pitch. Hit straight up the sideline. And I mean straight up there. Who wants it? This is going to fall. How about that? The pitcher Coleman looked at his catcher Travinsky. White had given up on the baseball, and then somehow Coleman made the catch. He wasn't calling that, Pat.
No.
He was the last man standing.
Now the pitcher has to turn around and call who's going to take it. And he was just as confused as everybody else. Who's going to take this ball? Nobody was yelling for it. Travinsky with a tougher catch for the catcher to turn around and try to come backwards towards it. It more than likely would have been Jared Jones, the first baseman. That might have been his ball, but great job by Coleman to recover and catch it.
Chase Moore skies one towards left field. This is a long run for Pearson. He gets there to make the play, and a leadoff single, and then 3 straight retired by Coleman. Well done, young man. Stretch time at Minute Maid. 5-run LSU Tiger advantage. I think everybody is sufficiently stretched out, especially those that have been here for a couple of games. They've done this drill twice. One more game to go tonight. It'll be the Houston Cougars and Ragin' Cajuns from Louisiana. Huge crowds this weekend and some good baseball, offensive baseball. Cameron Bush, meanwhile, comes on to pitch here in the bottom of the 7th to face these Tigers.
Yeah, Cameron Bush, the 6'2" senior from Round Rock High School, 4-year letter winner at Texas State. See the numbers on the year. A couple of innings, giving up 1 hit, 1 run, a couple of strikeouts. He is a veteran out of that pen, and a solid arm for Texas State. Just one of those dependable guys, knows how to pitch, not overpowering stuff, but understands how to use it.
Here's Michael Braswell, 9-1-2 for the LSU Tigers in the bottom of the 7th. 8 runs on 14 hits for LSU. What a weekend of college baseball, completing week 3 before we inch a little bit closer to the conference. And of course, Texas jumps in earlier than others. LSU will have another weekend of non-con opponents, hosting Xavier before they go to Mississippi State on the 15th. Week from next Friday. There's a ground ball to third at Lugo. His throw across retires Braswell, and there's 1 out. Every team in the SEC is going to have 2 regular opponents. So for LSU, those will be Texas A&M and Mississippi State. That means Ole Miss and LSU, which has been a great rivalry.
Yeah.
And in the last decade, Arkansas and LSU has been probably the best 2 teams, not named Vanderbilt, in the conference. They're not going to be it on a regular basis.
Yeah, so you're an SEC guy. So what went into creating those natural rivalries? You're going to have the 2 teams you always face every year.
Well, it's tough. I mean, there's a couple of obvious ones. You know, you can throw Texas and Texas A&M or Ole Miss and Mississippi State, but it feels like a lot of these schools have more than 2 rivals. There's a chopper by Kling to short, and the throw will retire him hustling up the line, and there's 2 outs. And I think there's a little bit of frustration because for Ole Miss, I think they enjoy playing LSU more than they probably enjoy playing Mississippi State.
I would think so.
And, you know, Arkansas, it's not a season if they haven't played LSU.
Right. So there's going to be I think the next 2 years, Arkansas and LSU still play, right? But then after that, it's.
Correct. Because these coaches now have their schedules for almost the next decade and a half. I think 13 years out.
Yeah, 13.
Which is strange.
That's what I heard.
As Pearson takes strike 1.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, Pat, we have seen this event before be kind of a Big 12 SEC tournament where there's 3 SEC teams and there's 3 Big 12 teams, and of course the SEC teams all play the Big 12. You never play a team from your own conference. I'm wondering if maybe there could be a situation where you might have, say, an Arkansas and an LSU and have them meet once here because they're not going to meet in the regular season.
Right. Well, that sure would be exciting for the fan base. I mean, you know, the fans from Arkansas and LSU would turn out to Houston in a heartbeat.
And I'm using that as an example. It could be Texas and LSU for that matter. If they're not on a regular rotation and they're not playing, then why not throw them into a 1-game scenario? You might see them in Hoover. You might not. You might never see them.
Right. The whole season.
Pearson will chop 1 towards third. This is a long run for Lugo. Throwing on the run, not quite fast enough. He did everything he could. But Pearson beats it. Gets the infield single. That's his 3rd hit of the game.
And the Bobcats had the shift on the infield and had Lugo pulled over towards the shortstop position. Just a high chopper. Pearson's speed is undoubtedly good out of the box. Easily beats that.
Tommy White fouls 1 back into the upper tank. Tommy tanks to the upper tank.
All right. He's the kind of hitter you get him out once and you go, well, now he's due.
Got him to chase that high pitch.
Yep. Fastball under his hands.
Goes into that squat in that batter's box. Hands over the inside corner of the plate. Lifting the ball high in the air, deep center field. Farber turning and running now, moving to his left, into a dive, and somehow he caught it. What a route by Farber. White can't believe it. That was not the most direct path to the baseball, but you love the moxie from the freshman.
No doubt. The former infielder, Ryan Farber, closes the gap, makes the catch, retires Tommy White.
thought he got the glove underneath it because he was.
Yeah, they're asking
kind
for
of
replay.
flopped.
See what they're looking at.
Did you see it?
Yeah, they just showed on the scoreboard. It was out.
While we were in break, they actually reviewed that catch by Farber in center on the deep fly from Tommy White. No surprise they upheld it, but this was quite a route by Farber. I mean, he has to turn and make a left turn here. And keep in mind, it's indoors today, no wind.
Yeah, outstanding catch by Farber. And, of course, a converted infielder. He has not been playing center field very long. And you said it, Brett, not the most direct route to it, but nonetheless effective. Makes the out. Retires the Tigers. That would have been a run. He saves a run. Had Ian. Well, you had Josh Pearson.
That's right.
Yeah, we would have scored easily from first base.
And you mentioned he's a shortstop playing center field for now. And he tried to steal third base late in the game yesterday and was thrown out. And at the time, I know it was part of our conversation. It was in the 8th inning and felt like it might have taken Texas State away from scoring a run. And then the Longhorns took a lead in the bottom of the 8th. And Coach said after the game, Coach Troutney mentioned it to us in the interview, that Farber came over and apologized to him. And he said, listen, it's an error of aggression. Yeah. I'm not going to try and push you, or I'm going to hold you back every once in a while, but didn't find any fault with the kid. And I'll tell you what, those youngsters, they play with some energy. Us old men, we just sit back and marvel at the at the speed of some of these guys, the way they play the game offensively, defensively, running the bases.
It is fun to watch. Yeah, and I think the situation was not a good situation to run in, and so Farber will learn from that. And like his head coach Steve Trout said, hey, I'll take an aggressive play mistake, and they'll learn from that. We'll talk to them about it. They'll know what to do next time.
Well, Tommy White's no longer in the game. Ben Nippolt is at third base. Not sure if that's just getting him in there or whether maybe something happened on that trot towards second base. Anyhow, Ramirez is going to lead off the 8th inning. There he is. There's Nippolt. St. Paul, Minnesota native. Ramirez skies one to center. This is to Kling. Who wants it? Well, it was Kling.
Yeah.
Brown was there just in case, lending some moral support. There were probably days in the remote broadcast era where this would cause somebody some confusion, right?
Oh, you love this though, right? Just having some fun. Having some fun out there. Remember Adrian Beltre used to do that almost on a daily basis.
Used to mess with his shortstop Elvis Andrus. Hey, speaking of the Rangers, I'm an Iowa guy, and I think everybody's mesmerized by Caitlin Clark and what she's done from a basketball standpoint. We may never see anybody quite that fascinating or drawn as many fans as Pena bats. My social media feed was ablaze about an hour ago because there was somebody that looked like it was Nolan Ryan in Iowa City watching women's basketball.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, it was Nolan Ryan.
It was Nolan.
In Iowa City, confirmed by his son. So he was there in the heartland watching some women's basketball on a March Sunday afternoon.
Now you got to ask if there's any connection to the family, or what was he there for?
Well, I'm assuming when you're Nolan Ryan, you can do whatever you want.
It's true.
You can go to whatever game you would like. The one he wanted to go to, I guess, was Iowa women's basketball.
Incredible.
Which means we're just in a completely different era than we were not that long ago, with the proliferation of different sports and what television has done to really kind of lend some amplitude to some great individuals. We're on our 8th of 9 telecasts here at Minute Maid this weekend, and after Pena walked, Galloway will bat. He's 0 for 3.
right back into the strike zone after walking Pena. We've seen these Bobcat comebacks. You open the door and they typically will walk through it.
Yeah, I think the message for all of these teams this weekend, whether you've been up 4 or 5 runs or 6 or 8 or down by that same number, the importance of continuing to play hard and just trying to see if you can find a way to come back, or of course on the other side hold a lead.
Yeah. Well, that's been it with this Texas State team for sure. We saw it this morning with Vanderbilt. And nobody is mailing these games in, even if you're down 6, 7, 8 runs.
Fans didn't care for that last pitch call. That one down in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, reason to be upset. According to MLB Pitch Tracker, that ball was above the zone.
Counts on 4.
Yeah. All of a sudden, Javen Coleman's having trouble with the zone.
Three-two. That's strike 3. A little bit of a delayed call, but Galloway rung up.
Yeah, a couple of tough pitches on Rashawn Galloway, and disagreed with that one as well. Take another look at it. Did it catch the inside corner? I don't know. Travinsky did a good job of holding it steady. Might have bought the strike for his pitcher there.
May have. Lugos hit the ball hard 3 times today. Hacking at the first pitch. That one's way up there. Into the rafters, out into shallow center, and the catch will be made to end the 8th. So a walk, but no damage done by the Bobcats, shortening this game. It remains an 8-3 LSU lead. Winding down day 3. One more game to go after the completion of this one. Houston and Louisiana will be the nightcap. The Cougars and the Raging Cajuns. Cougars trying to get a win. And Louisiana had that 7-4 loss to Vandy. Televised. And last night had to play LSU. Tight game throughout. 5-4 final. LSU getting the win. New pitcher for the Bobcats. Tony Roby comes on to work in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Yeah, the senior right-hander stands 6'5". A pretty good season last year. Appeared in 20 games, started 12. Out of the bullpen today for the Bobcats, making his 2nd appearance This will be his first relief appearance of the year. He's pitched 6 1/3 innings, given up 9 hits. Has walked 5, struck out 9. So will be called upon to keep this 8-3 lead right where it is.
Four, 5, and 6 due up for the Tigers. Brady Neal will step in with 3 infielders on the right side of the diamond and take strike 1. So oftentimes, and that ball hit through the shift out into right center for a base hit by Brady Neal, his 3rd hit of the game. College baseball started to mirror Major League Baseball in some aspects. Of course, the big one is the bats, but the pitch timers were comparable when the rules changes came through. But I'm wondering if we're going to see something with the shifts at some point in college baseball, considering they don't want those in the big leagues. They don't want them in the minor leagues.
Could see it. And typically the rule changes start to kind of bleed down into the different systems. And so, yeah, wouldn't doubt it.
Hayden Travinski will check his swing. That ball kicked away just a bit. The throw to second base might still be in time, and it is. Neal got a little bit daring and tried to advance. Collier bounced a one hopper there, but it was on the money once it skipped to the shortstop Powell.
Yeah, Neal couldn't believe it. He thought that ball had really gotten away from Collier, and Collier did a nice job of knocking it down and making a strong throw to second base. It just kind of popped off the top of his mitt a couple of steps away.
Well, that was
Neal
the move
hesitated.
that cost
Yeah,
him. Yep.
Yeah, he hesitated. He is out. Nice tag by Mora.
So Travinski batting with the bases empty. It's a double and a couple of RBIs today. I could see where the coaches in college baseball would not want to limit the pickoffs, only because I think you're going to run more at the college game than you are in the major leagues.
Yeah.
Although I don't think an unlimited number of pickoffs works either, but I don't know what you do about it. But I do think we might see a change sometime in the shifting.
I would agree with that.
Now these umpires have more than ever on their plates to try and legislate. They're worried about, props on the field and guys on the grass, and the last thing you want to have to do is now put another stipulation in on which side of second base are you standing, and do you have 2 infielders and whatnot. I just don't know if you want the games to be that dissimilar, considering how fast some of these guys are moving from the college ranks through the minors to the majors. Travinski off the end of his bat sends one down the line and left. It'll drop in and roll to the fence. Boy, LSU has had a few of those doubles off the hands, off the end of the bats, and just putting them in play and getting extra bases.
We have done that often. This is the second time Travinski's hit one off the end of his bat and dumped into the left field. Back-to-back doubles and 2 at bats for him. Ball rattles around down by the scoreboard in the Crawford boxes, and how big is that throw at Neal now? Neal would at least be at third base if not have scored on that play. Pinch runner.
Zeb Ruddle from Monroe, Louisiana is going to run. Little chopper foul wide to first off the bat of Milam.
Means we'll see a new catcher for LSU in the 9th.
They've got a few.
4 to choose from.
I guess the question is for Coach Johnson and his staff, once you get to the league play when you've got a roster of what, 27? What are you going to do then? I mean, you're not going to have an unlimited number. You're going to have to leave somebody off for these weekends. Liner to right again off the bat of Milam. This will chase home Travinski with the 9th LSU run. Milam never stopped. He might be out at second, but the throw's high and he is safe. Bobcats threw behind Milam, and he just kept running. And a high throw from Patino down to second allowed him to be safe.
Yeah, Galloway had no shot at Ruddle coming from third base. Just to try to go home. Well, that's cut off there by Patino at first baseman. The throw from him over to Powell was high, and Milam slides it under the tag. Another runner in scoring position for the Tigers as they bump the lead now to 6.
That'll be a single, advancing to second on that throw. And Jared Jones will bat. Just one home run in this game. We saw the homers in our last two broadcasts with the 14-11 Vandy win over Texas and the 11-10 Texas State win over the Longhorns. But Pearson had that solo shot in the third. That's it as far as the long balls.
Yeah, but 18 hits
18.
for the Tigers and 9 for the Bobcats.
They've not been shorted in that category with 18 hits.
That's right.
0-2 pitch is high to Jones.
Well, 3 straight off of Tony Roby to start the 8th. Bobcats do have the run on the board on the throw out of Neal at second base.
Pitch started to flutter a little bit high. 2-2.
I think if you're Jay Johnson and the LSU Tigers, got to obviously feel happy about potentially going 3-0 in this tournament. A lot of great competition, but he's seen a lot of good things this weekend. A couple of close games for them, back-to-back nights.
Big wave and a miss. So Jones will K for the second out of the inning.
So if you dial it down, you think the pitching and the bullpen especially won you a couple of games in the front end of this tournament, and now the offense takes over for game 3.
Yeah, just keep winning games in different ways, I guess.
That's right.
Ashton Larson is going to pinch hit. Overland Park, Kansas native. Hitting for Brown, who had 2 hits at 4 at bats. This is kind of an art form as well for these coaches late in these games. When do you throw a guy in there to get him an at bat? It's not easy to go a couple of weeks and not play. So when can you get an at bat for somebody? What does the game situation allow or dictate?
You almost are forced to now with the era of the portal. You know, if you don't get these guys some playing time, there's just a lot of frustration built up over the course of the year. Even if you're winning, every player wants to play. Being patient, waiting your turn, developing, gosh, such a big part of college baseball. And
some of the great coaches and managers that I've observed in the last 20 years know exactly when to rest a starter and to throw one of their bench guys in there for a start, get him a couple of at-bats. Larson will shoot one into center for a base hit, so he's going to get a single and RBI. It's now a 10-3 LSU lead. So the pinch hitter drives in another LSU run.
And that's what you have to do. It's really tough when you don't see a live pitch baseball in a week or 2 weeks when you're waiting your turn. But when you get the opportunity, and Ashton Larson takes advantage of it, that's how you earn yourself more at bats.
That's pretty impressive, and I think you've seen it probably a lot more than I have through the years. But you know, you rest that veteran who might be just a little bit tired or a little bit off. Somebody steps forward, gives you a good performance, then you throw that starter back in and he's rejuvenated, refreshed, and you can really keep that thing kicking down the tracks.
Yeah, no doubt.
Be right back. It's a feet on the seat in front of you type of inning right now, because LSU has extended this lead to 10-3, and Texas State forced to go to the bullpen one more time and bring on pitcher number 7 here this afternoon, Dalton Buckingham.
Yeah, if you're an LSU fan, you've got your feet up on the seat. You feel pretty relaxed. You're facing Dalton Buckingham with a couple of outs in the bottom of the 8th inning, making his 4th appearance. A couple of strikeouts in 2 1/3 innings, only giving up the 1 hit. Yet to be scored upon.
Lake Travis High School product. Ten runs on 19 hits for the Tigers. 3 runs, 9 hits for Texas State. Even if LSU finishes off this win, it'll be, I think, a good weekend for the Bobcats. They would finish 2-1. LSU, like Vanderbilt, would be 3-0. Haven't heard the official attendance numbers today, but we entered play about 7,300 fans short of an all-time college classic record. You think of the huge crowds on Friday night for Texas and LSU, and the big crowd last night again for LSU in Louisiana. We'll find out about mid-game at our nightcap what it looks like today.
Well, if they don't break it, it's going to be really close.
Yeah, I think we need to fudge those numbers. If not, we need to get to that number, because it has felt like we have had some massive crowds here this weekend.
Well, the nightcap is going to feature Houston and the Raging Cajuns from Louisiana.
Ryan Kucherak is pinch hitting now for LSU. So just talking about getting guys an opportunity to bat late in this game. Kucherak out of Chandler, Arizona, takes a strike. It's 0-2. LSU has had 3 multi-run innings. The 5-run 4th was the big one, but 2 more runs in the 6th. They played a 2 here in the 8th.
And the 19 hits is impressive.
He thinks they might have a few more games like this at some point. I don't know when. It could be the next game. Who knows? But just the depth of talent in this lineup. And that man's still trying to figure out all the pieces.
No rebuilding for LSU. You had to replace Dylan Cruz, Trey Morgan, Jordan Thompson, Gavin Dugas, Braden Jobert.
Yeah, you start reading through that list. It wasn't just Cruz and Skeens.
Yeah.
It was a
lot of players.
Number of huge players, and all of them deserve their due. Part of a national championship. Those fans will never forget you if you're part of that championship team. You had a big role.
So a lot of new faces in the lineup, but they picking up right where they left off. Looks like they're going to run their record to 11-1 to start the season.
And that loss came to Stony Brook on a Friday night at the box. Arkansas lost to James Madison. I think Ole Miss lost to High Point. Mississippi State's lost to a lot of teams. Mix in a few of those L's. Wave it a miss. A strikeout to end the 8th inning. A couple of more runs on the board for the Tigers. Last chance upcoming for Texas State. We go to the 9th. Last chance for the Bobcats, down 10-3. We'll bring you back inside the broadcast booth. Brett Dolan, Pat Combs. We've been doing this event together for at least 10 years, maybe longer. I know it's always my favorite part of the calendar, and usually it's me sneaking out for that last game. Now we'll let you get out, and I'll come back for game number 9. But your thoughts on what we've seen this weekend?
Oh, man, an exciting weekend. You love to be here because it's such a great atmosphere at Minute Maid. The Astros Foundation has done a great job putting this tournament on. And, no surprises where LSU has come in and competed well. Looks like they're going to be 3-0. Vanderbilt 3-0. But, man, the highlight for me of the weekend was the comeback victory for the Texas State Bobcats last night. I'll never forget Lugo blowing the bubble, hitting the home run. I mean, that's just legendary stuff. We'll never forget that, Brett.
Yeah, indeed. Legendary stuff for Lugo and the Cats. This has been all LSU today, though. 10 runs on 19 hits. And one more chance for Texas State. Alex Gonzalez is going to bat for Powell. Coleman right back out there. He's been pretty good through 2 quick innings.
Yeah, great stuff from the Tiger lefty. Spotting it up pretty well, except for that pitch. But yeah, that home run last night, that's the stuff we'll tell our grandkids 10, 15 years from now. We'll never forget this play.
Yeah, making some memories. You just don't get that many opportunities for huge moments on big stages against big teams, and then to take advantage and to do so in that manner. I mean, in the era we live in with the social media aspect, a moment can go viral quickly, and when you have something unique and dramatic, mix in a big bubble along with the homer, you could see where the fans would be interested in that.
A lot of fun.
Fouled back and out of play off the bat of the pinch hitter Gonzalez.
Yeah, I think every player that has come through this tournament will tell you baseball is a lot of fun. They play it because it brings a lot of joy, but there's those moments that get frozen in time that will never leave your memory. And that ball last night from Aaron Lugo is one that is emblazoned for sure for a lot of folks. He'll never forget it.
Nope.
That's for sure.
Guarantee that. 3-2 to Gonzalez. And Coleman will issue the walk. So he's been pretty good through 2 innings, but he puts on a free base runner to begin the 9th inning. And let's go back and look at Lugo's homer from last night in the 9th inning. See the bubble gum coming out and the baseball going out.
Yeah, so, I mean, no bigger moment for the Bobcats in that particular game. That was the home run that won it.
Look a little bit like Chris Burke's home run in the playoff against the Atlanta Braves in 2005.
Matthew Tripp had to go out and close out the inning, which he did, but you just kind of sensed after the home run that they were going to complete that win over the Longhorns. And a pinch hitter.
Samson Pugh from Montgomery, Texas. Handful of defensive changes as well for LSU after their pinch hitters. Texas State down to its final 3 outs. Cold strike at the knees. Bingham in left. The second baseman is Kucherak. Milam moves over to short. New catcher as well as Milazzo. You're still scoring by now. Stop.
Yeah, the scorebook is it's really messed up.
Time to give it up.
We'll let you know what happens.
Two pitch, cut on a missed. Pugh down on strikes. First out here in the 9th inning.
Well, Javen Coleman doing a good job for LSU. It's throwing 2 1/3 now, not giving up a hit. A couple of strikeouts, 2 walks on the evening. Gosh, and some great stuff though.
Cameron Wheel is going to hit. For Farber, we'll really enjoy following the career of one Ryan Farber going forward.
No doubt. His name is circled on a lot of people's lists to keep an eye on.
Just like we did with Chase Mora a year ago. Watching Ryan Farber put forth big numbers in his very first season. Found right back to the screen.
I'm really impressed with that freshman for the Tigers, Stephen Milam. Boy, has he been fantastic.
Vanderbilt's freshman, a 3-hole hitter, Camden Kozel.
Yep.
I think he had 8 hits this weekend. That's hard to do.
A couple of big time performances from these freshmen, and it's fun to watch. You break into a scene in a Power 5 team and start going off, and a lot of players have to wait their turn, but those guys are making a name for themselves early in their collegiate careers.
Pitch spiked by Coleman. No advancement from Gonzalez. Didn't want to risk making it out at second base. Down 7 in the 9th inning.
Yeah, good decision, especially with Milazzo's arm. Good stop by the new backstop for the Tigers, Alex Milazzo.
So the count has gone full to Cameron Whyle. Payoff pitch. Poked out into left. Bingham, the new left fielder, into the game. That's a sliding grab. He wasn't sure if he was going to slide or dive, and he kind of went in between. But lucky he didn't catch a leg out there in the grass and go head over heels.
No doubt that was one of those in-between plays. You can see him trying to make that decision in real time, and went from kind of pushing that head forward like he was going to dive to, no, I think I'll just slide on this one. Got down on both knees, and nicely done.
You can laugh about it after you make that play.
That's right.
Ethan Ferris out of Cypress, Texas, will pinch hit now for Patino. Sidewoods High School product. Freshman getting an AB here at Minute Maid. Credit to both of these coaches, Steve Trout and Jay Johnson, for trying to get a lot of guys in here in the last inning or so. A game that's outcome will not be altered, I don't believe, by anyone's participation.
Good move by both these coaches, and there's a lot of these local players that grew up rooting for the Astros and coming to games at Minute Maid Park. Get a chance to get in that batter. Let's throw a couple of pitches here in this park. Those are things you never forget. Even if you never play to the next level, you'll remember this one.
You will. Bobcats down to their final out, but the count has gone 3-0 to Ferris. And a 4-pitch walk. Ethan Ferris can tell the grandkids how they worked around him in that 9th inning.
That's right.
They didn't want any part of him.
Nope. 7-run lead was not safe, and I get Nate Yeski out of the mound, or out of the dugout, headed towards the mound yet again for LSU. Well, Brett, always a joy to be here with you, man. This is it's a highlight of my year, and
I would agree. And we just keep chugging away and keep coming back, and we've seen so many incredible teams and players over these 10+ years, and credit to the Astros for keeping this event going and bringing in teams like LSU and outstanding mid-majors like Texas State, and along with Vanderbilt this year and Texas, and on down the line we'll see Houston and Louisiana, and can't wait for future years to come.
Yeah, really good stuff. Really good time, and always great baseball here, and love the fans of Houston. They've supported this event for so many years, and of course you get fans traveling in, but a lot of local folks who just like to come out and see some baseball before the major league season gets cranked up.
There we are. You know, I think part of this event, though, is Space City, the home network, stepping up and always having these games televised, and then to have them streamed free at Astros.com. I know so many fans have commented how they appreciate that. They're not reaching into their wallet to pay.
Yeah, I've got some great comments of the broadcast, and a lot of friends and family have said, man, this broadcast, the production was just spectacular this year, and it was like they're watching a major league game.
Watch on the social media channels, YouTube, whatnot, whatever your fancy. Chase Moore batting with a couple of guys on after the conversation on the hill, but that's now 6 straight that have missed from Coleman. So he's getting this thing right to the finish line, and now he's in that position where he could just fall over the tape, but we aren't quite there yet.
I'm sure Nate Yeskie was saying, hey, man, you got a 7-run lead, just throw strikes. He's struggling finding the command right here.
My goodness, 7 in a row. He's trying to put forth 3 scoreless innings. I don't know if he'll get to that 3rd inning if he walks more up.
He's choking it now.
Yeah, he's not close.
Yeah.
3 walks in this 9th inning. He's at 46 pitches.
You know, when the velo drops like that, just tells you he's aiming it. Will they give him one more? Jay Johnson just signaled down to the bullpen and said, boys, we got a flight to catch.
It may not even be one more batter. It may be one pitch or so in the course of this sequence if he doesn't throw a strike to August Ramirez.
And Milazzo taking the slow walk out. That means he's buying some time. Trying to get through this inning without using another arm, but Jay Johnson on the phone. Is he ready? Is he ready? Let me know. All right, now we get Jay Johnson heading out. They will make the pitching change.
Coleman was pretty good until the very end, and then just could not find the strike zone. Issues 3 walks in the 9th, and that will do it for Coleman. So the Tigers will have to bring another pitcher into this game, up 10-3. Back right after this. Well, the Tigers forced to go to the bullpen. DJ Primo hopes to get that final out and finish off this game.
Yeah, the freshman from Baton Rouge Central High School, 5'10", 195-pounder, making his 5th appearance. He's a couple of innings pitched this season, giving up 3 hits, a run, and a walk. At this point, Jay Johnson just saying, hey, just throw a couple of strikes here and we'll get out of this inning and get on the road.
I feel like he's been saying that for a few batters this inning. So Primo is the 4th pitcher for LSU, and Texas State has used 7. And LSU try to go to 3-0. Texas State would fall to 2-1 this weekend. Tigers just keep on rolling, coming off that national championship last year. Last two SEC national champions finished last in the SEC the next season with Ole Miss and Mississippi State. I don't think you have to worry about that at all with LSU. The Cougars out there in the stands at right, wondering when their game may begin. August Ramirez, the batter. And Primo snaps one in there for strike one.
Yeah, the third game originally slated to start at 7 o'clock, 7:05. It's going to be pushed back to at least 8.
Drilled to center. Base hit by Ramirez. Going to chase home a couple of runs and make this a 10-5 game. And those runs go on the tally of Coleman.
Well, you never say never, not with this offense.
You walk 3 guys in an inning, and there's a pretty good chance at least one's going to score.
Yep. There's going to be another pitching change here for Jay Johnson. Playing matchup baseball here with a 5-run lead. I'm sure not his plan when he began this inning.
I don't think it was anyone's plan.
Yep.
All right. We'll be right back for more after this. Well, LSU entered this inning needing to get 3 outs. We have been here a while. They still need 1 more to go. They're on their 3rd pitcher of the inning, Gavin Guidry, entering the game.
Yeah, I'm sure that this inning did not start with Gavin Guidry's name on Jay Johnson's mind, but here he is. Guidry making his 5th appearance, does have a save. 3 2/3 innings, giving up 3 hits, a run, and 6 strikeouts with 2 walks. Gavin Guidry part of the back end of this really strong LSU bullpen. Closer type stuff.
There's our crew. They're hanging in there pretty well, don't you think, Pat?
They're doing well, man. It's been a long weekend of baseball. We've had a couple of extra inning games. We've had some games with a lot of runs. It took 3.5, 3:45, and
that's right.
Guys continue to be the professionals that they are.
Hanging tough. This is Pena. A couple of Bobcats still out there, and 2 have scored here in the 9th inning. 29 combined hits. That gives you an idea of what we've dealt with base runners. If the Bobcats strand these 2, we'd have 20 combined left on base.
Guidry with the nasty slider. You saw that first pitch. Fastball sits low 90s, but good command of that slider. That's usually his out pitch.
Seeing all of our crew members.
Well, at least the top of their hat.
Yeah, they're not even breaking stride. I like it. Bobcats down to their final strike or out in the 9th inning. LSU fans now will come to their feet.
They sense it.
trying to push this game over the finish line. Milazzo wanted one high, and he got one up in the zone.
Overthrew that slider just a tad.
That's the loneliest spot out there in center. Tucked away in the little village. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 9th inning. That's a swing. I'll call it right here. Ball game over. And the LSU Tigers win all 3 games this weekend. They defeat Texas State 10-5 on Sunday afternoon, now evening.
Yeah, impressive fashion for the Tigers. They'll leave Houston 3-0. And a successful weekend for the Texas State Bobcats, even though they get on the losing end of this one. But what a tournament, what a game. Brett, hate to leave you, but you got game 3 on your own here with Bogasevic, right?
Go catch your flight.
I'm going to go catch a flight.
I don't want you to miss your flight.
Thank you, guys. Great weekend.
One more game to go. Coming up again, Houston Cougars and Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns from Minute Maid Park. But the LSU Tigers, they're now 11-1 with the victory. Texas State 7-4. So for Pac Holmes and our entire crew, I'm Brett Dolan saying so long for now. The Cougars and the Cajuns coming up in about an hour. Thanks for tuning in again today. Day 3 of the Astros Foundation College Classic from Minute Maid in downtown Houston, Texas.